Hey, it's Josh, the service manager from Walnut Ridge. I want to talk a little bit about slide outs and operation and maintenance of slide outs. This unit has your traditional, just the manual switches in here to run them out. It's pretty self-explanatory. You want to run the slides in, you're going to push the button for in. To run the slides out, you'll hold the button down for out. But there's some things that you want to do before you just go running your slide outs out. First off, on the outside, make sure you don't have like the campground's power post sticking up too high that your slide out's close to, or a tree or a picnic table or anything like that in the way when you run the slide outs out. So when you've cleared around the area, you can come inside and start running them out. But you don't want to just come in and stand right here and just push buttons out. You've just traveled to get to the campground. You've no doubt packed stuff inside. What you want to make sure of is that nothing inside has shifted or got in the way of the slide outs for them to run in and out. And then there's also, in this particular unit, there's two good places we'll look at here in just a second of drawers and cabinet doors that could be in the way too. So my suggestion would be run them out just a little bit at first, enough that you can walk through the area, and then you'll want to slide inside and you want to check stuff. Like for instance, this one here, this drawer can be open enough that it could have been behind this fascia on the slide out if that had come open during travel, if you had a lot of heavy stuff in it. So when you go to run the slide out, it might catch on this and tear up the drawer, tear up the fascia, possibly the floor if it gets stuck to it. Another one on this one, on the very back side, it's going to be difficult to see from the doorway over there, is these cabinet doors. And so if that slide out was in and that door was slightly open, same thing could get caught just like the drawer, damage the wall, damage the door, the fascia, the floor. Some other things too. These folks, they put their chairs down on the ground and they have some protection around their feet so it's not tearing up the wall. So it looks like when they pack up, they know what to expect while they're going down the road. The chairs, if they're not strapped in securely. Same thing on this slide out is they have the theater seating here. So you just want to make sure that this is secure down and you don't have stuff on top of it while you're traveling. Now I'd like to go on the outside and talk a little bit about the maintenance that you need to do on your slide out. These particular slide outs here are the old Ram style. They don't have they're not the cable driven style that you see on a lot of them nowadays, but they all have the same thing. They have a wiper seal on the outside that's going to be on the sides, across the top. They have them on the bottom as well. And there's some treatment that you can use on the wiper seal to keep this rubber flexible, and it's some good weather resistant stuff to put on there too, so that this doesn't dry rot over time. So you always want to make sure that your wiper seal is getting treated. That stuff we sell in the store, you spray on, pretty much let it dry on there, and then lightly wipe it off. You do that all the way around, and then underneath there's on this one you can see there's some gears. There's two rams that ride on some gears, and there's a crossbar, and then there's a push ram that actually activates the slide out. And those gears underneath is a good lube point. There's some slide out lube that we sell in the store also that you can spray on there to lube up those gears and those teeth along the bottom. But it's a dry lube, so it's designed to not hold a bunch of dirt and road grime that you're going to get from traveling with this. So good idea to keep those lubed in working order. And then also, you just want to inspect it periodically. You want to make sure that this stays sealed so that water's not getting in, and if it gets in behind here, it can start soaking into the floor. You want to look underneath periodically on the floor of the slide out. Make sure nothing's torn or ripped. Sometimes you can get some rocks or something left on the floor from that you carried in off your shoes, and the slide out could drag across it and maybe damage the floor and damage the bottom of this. So periodically just check underneath and make sure everything's still smooth and not ripped open, and that should help slide out last a long time.